Hi, welcome. My name's Phil. I'm the Income School student, and today we're going to be talking about websites and exactly how many websites you need. Well, in case you don't know, Jim and Ricky from incomeschool.com, they run a program called Project 24. And this is a program where they help you replace your full-time income within 24 months. Now, until recently, they've been recommending that you build multiple websites, but this has recently changed. So stick around to find out more. So Jim and Ricky over at Income School, they have a program called Project 24, and I'm actually a member of that program. And until recently, they have been advising that you build multiple websites, but this has changed. So until sort of fairly recently, what you did was you followed the main 60-step program, which is the main course within Project 24. And this is a program that gives you 60 easy to follow steps to build a website that will have 30 articles. It will also have a YouTube channel with 10 videos, and it will be promoted through social media such as Pinterest. And what you would do is you would follow the 60 steps, you'd build one website. And as that website built traction with Google, you'd go back and build a second site. And to me, that was a very good idea because you were having more than one chance of being successful. However, they no longer recommend this, and it's for two main reasons. The first reason really is speed. So the problem was that many Project 24 members were just not able to build websites as quickly as in the 60 steps. They couldn't do it in 2 months. I actually did do that, and I've got a video that you can check out on YouTube which explains my experience with the 60 steps and how I completed it in 2 months. So check that video out for more information. But most people didn't do this. There were stories of people spending a year to write maybe 10 articles. And with that kind of speed of creating content, you're just not going to have critical mass, and you're just never going to build a website. So because of that reason, they often said to people, okay, forget the second site and just keep going with the first site. Another reason why they no longer recommend that you actually build a second site or multiple sites is to do with EAT. So EAT is what Google have set up recently. It's a new change in the way that Google ranks websites, and it stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Now, building EAT can seem a little bit daunting, but in fact, that's another course in Project 24. It's all about EAT, and Jim and Ricky have given us 30 easy to follow steps, and you do that and you're pretty much good for EAT. You know, you're going to establish that you are who you say you are. You're going to get a little bit of traction with Google because they're going to associate your name and your brand or your domain to the subject that you're talking about. It's a really good course. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Project 24, check out the link in this video description, or you can go over to my website at incomeschoolstudent.com/project24. So these are the two main reasons why Jim and Ricky have changed their recommendation. Speed, if you're not producing enough content quickly enough, and the fact that if you need to establish EAT time and time again, this can be an extra task that is perhaps a little bit difficult for some people to achieve. I think the other reason that they're saying not to build multiple sites is that they don't want to mislead us, okay? In the past, they gave us some stories where they had websites with, I think it was about 7 articles that was making around about $1,000 a month. And that is a fluke. That's not the norm. And I think they're kind of steering their recommendation away because, you know, these guys, they don't want to mislead you. They're not trying to get you to sign up and give you fantastic stories that aren't true and not everyone can replicate. So for that reason, they're saying put all your energy into one website. But I'm not listening. I'm doing something different. In the last 7 days, I have actually gone and I've launched 2 websites. So that's what I want to talk about today. Before I do that, let's talk about a few stats from my main Project 24 website over the last week. So let's go over to that. Okay, so just a bit of information about the main Project 24 style website I have. So I'm in month 5, so I started it back in May. I've got currently 61 articles on the website and a YouTube channel with around 10 to 15 videos, although I need to pay a lot more attention to YouTube. So what we've got here is a comparison of the last 7 days with the previous 7 days. So in blue we've got the last 7 days, and in orange we've got the 7 days before that. So this is just a view of organic traffic, and I've removed any organic traffic from Taiwan, just so it's not showing me when I'm at work checking out my website. So you can see that Google are definitely sort of testing the website. The traffic's going up and down, but there is definitely a difference. Although sort of at the beginning of the week, so the Thursday, we're around the same numbers, 17 this week, 13 page views last week, and on the Wednesday we're pretty much the same numbers as well, 18 this week compared to 19. There's a bit of a difference in the midweek range. So if we look at the Sunday, it's almost double, so 25 compared to 14 last week, almost double. The Monday, 28th of October, 21 page views compared to 9 previous Monday, definitely double. So there's definitely a bit of progress, and I think I might be going into that stage of seeing a spike. But overall, I've got nearly 30% more organic views this week than the previous week. So 145 this week compared to 114 the previous week. So I think that's a pretty good sign. Also, this month I put the Amazon Associates affiliate links back on the website. I hadn't actually made any sales in the first 3 months when I started, so I had to replace everything. So just a little tip here. We had a bit of an issue in the community with the Amazon links, especially the short links. They didn't seem to be recording as well. So just replace all of your affiliate links for Amazon with the long links. So that just means when you use the Stripe feature, when you're on Amazon and you see a product, you can just click on the top left-hand corner and get the link. Choose the long URL rather than the short one. It's just going to cover your bases, and you're definitely not going to lose out on any clicks. And if you're in your WordPress post, if you're just having a link on a word, it doesn't matter if it's the short or the long one, so you might as well put the long URL on it. Of course, if you're putting a link in a YouTube description or something, yeah, maybe you're just gonna have to use the short one to make it look prettier. Anyway, so this month 24 clicks. Okay, nothing special, no sales or anything, but I'm pretty pleased with that. It does show that I'm getting traffic. People are looking at my recommendations, they're coming over to Amazon, and if I build up the traffic, I'm surely going to make some sales here. So that's where I am this week. So let's get back and talk about these multi-sites and exactly what I plan to do. Okay, so like I said, I have launched 2 websites in the last week. Each website currently has, one has 4 articles on it, the other one has 2. So these are in 2 completely different niches, and the first one, I can reveal the niche because it's a very competitive niche. It's the wedding niche. The reason that I built a website in the wedding niche is that in 2020 I'm going to have another wedding. I'm already married, but this is going to be a big family wedding where everyone flies in from the UK out to Taiwan. So it kind of made sense because that's what we're planning at the moment, my wife and I. but it's very competitive, and search analysis has been a bit of a tricky thing. But interestingly enough, if you look at Google Trends for these niches, you can see at the top that weddings, that subject, that topic, is actually losing traction. It's not being searched as much as it was at the beginning of the period, back in 2004, as it is now. And you can see that my other two niches, which I'm not going to reveal right now, there's kind of obviously less searches, but the trend is going up. So I'm hoping that I can get into weddings and still pick up a lot of traffic, and also work on this trend of the other two niches that's going up. I'll see if it works. Okay, so why exactly am I building more than one website when Jim and Ricky say not to? Well, it's because I'm working a lot more quickly than other people, I feel. I was able to complete the 60 steps in 2 months. All of my numbers for page views and how much content I'm producing, they're either bang on target following the Project 24 timeline, or they're above the target. So I feel quite confident with my main website, that the thing I'm working on, that it's going to continue in the right direction. I'm also going to outsource all of the other writing for the other websites I want to produce, and I'm actually hiring writers for the first time, which is, it was an interesting experience, and I'm actually going to create a video about that, which I'll put up in a couple of weeks. So if you're watching this today, just go over to my YouTube channel and see if you can find the video about hiring writers. So I'm going to outsource a lot of the writing. But my plan is for 2020, for the beginning of 2020, I'm going to have 4 additional websites. So I've launched 2 this week. Next month, I'm going to hopefully launch another 2. And that is going to, by the end of 2020, that means I'm going to have 5 Project 24 style websites up and running. And hopefully that's going to work out for me. So the reason I'm doing this personally is that in 2020, as I said, I've got a wedding coming up in April, which is going to take a lot of my time. I'm also planning to become the general manager of a running club that I'm a member of, and that's going to take up a heck of a lot of my time. So I want to get the ball rolling now, so that by the time I get to the end of that year, I'm going to have a lot more traffic coming in from Google, and hopefully that's going to be my full-time income. So let's just talk about some pros and cons here. So the main advantage of having a multi-website strategy is that if you come to Project 24 and you're starting the Project 24 method, the income school method set up by Jim and Ricky, if you come here and you have a bad niche, you've chosen a niche that's too small, too competitive, or that your search analysis is just not being up to scratch and you're not writing the right kind of articles. If you put all your time, energy and resources into that, it's just going to take you nowhere. So this is an advantage because you're spreading that over many niches, and if you happen to have chosen just a bad niche, maybe one of the other websites will work a little bit better. You can go back to the data and you can actually pull your resources into something that is clearly working. So I think that's a real advantage in the column of multi-site. Another thing is you're spreading the risk. So if you're investing in this, as I am, so I'm outsourcing all of the writing for those 4 websites that I'm going to set up. If one of them tanks, maybe the other 3 won't. So you're not going to waste all of your money on a bad decision, on a bad project. So I think, again, that's something that swayed me towards the multi-site strategy. Another thing is to do with search analysis. Search analysis is the most important thing. Without doing this well, you're just never going to succeed in the type of websites that we're building. I have a feeling that I did it very badly with my first website. So I have about 61 articles on that website at the moment, and about 50% of them are a little bit dodgy. They haven't been focused well. Either it was too competitive and I'm not ranking, or the other way, it's just no one's searching for that. And a lot of the time with my search analysis and the way I wrote the articles to begin with, I went for the easy option. It was more like, oh, I want to write that one. I think that's more interesting. Oh, that seems a little bit difficult. I'm not going to write that one. And yeah, after doing this for 5 months, I can see the mistakes that I made. So by launching more than one website, you get to practice search analysis in more than one niche. And it's really helping me, especially with the wedding niche. This is incredibly competitive, and I'm really struggling to find the cracks in the market. But I've managed to do it. I've got 30 pretty good topics, I think, and that's what I'm going to go with there. For the other niches that I'm looking at, less competitive, and the search analysis is coming a little bit more easily, but it's just practice. And to be honest, if you're at the beginning of this process, look at several niches before you put any money into it, before you buy a domain, before you do anything, and just spend a couple of days doing search analysis, and you'll practice it, and it's really time well spent. And if you want to launch a multi-site sort of strategy, as I'm doing, it's really going to help you. The other thing which is kind of an advantage of having more than one website is if things go badly, or the situation in your life changes, and you've built something that is okay, it's bringing in some traffic, maybe a little bit of money, you can sell it. If you go to even basic websites like Flipper to sell, and Flipper doesn't have a very good reputation, but I bought a website off Flipper and it was okay. Even if you go to Flipper, you can sell websites with no monetization, and I bought one for about $300-400. So something that's bringing in maybe $100 a month, you could get $1,000 out of that, maybe a little bit more, depending on the niche. So you can always sell a website if you need to, but if it's your main source of income, if you sell it, you've got nothing left. Okay, what about the disadvantages of having more than one website instead of just focusing on one? Well, that's it, your focus. The main problem is if you're trying to spread yourself too thinly, then you're never going to focus fully on one project. The way that I'm doing it is I will continue to write on my main website, but the other content I'm going to outsource to writers. I'm going to have to do a bit of editing on that, but most of the legwork is going to be done by them. Although, of course, I have to do the search analysis. As I said, I will have to edit, I'm going to have to find the photos, and etc. But you're getting, within the same hour of your day, you're building content for more than one website. So yes, it's good to focus on one thing, but I don't know. I think it's possible. It just depends on your time. If you only have 1 hour a day, then maybe it's better to write one article for one website rather than trying to do everything at once. It really depends on you. So yeah, I suppose I think I've just convinced myself that's an advantage. I'm not sure. I'm confused. Let's move on. Okay, the other problem maybe is smaller sites. Now, if you've got an infinite budget, then this is not a problem. But I do not. I've earmarked about $5,000 to build 4 websites. Each of the websites will have about 30 articles. And I think I can do that the way that I'm planning to do this, which I'll be talking about next week. So if you want to find out how you can get 4 websites from about $5,000, then come back and check out that website. That will come out next week. If you're watching this after the beginning of November, then just check on my channel, it's already there. So yeah, if you have a limited budget, then obviously having more than one website, that budget has to spread over all of the sites. So you're not going to have as much content. Whereas if you focus on just one site, it can become a massive website, and just because of that, you're probably going to get more authority as a domain. You're going to establish yourself as being a trustworthy source of information, and you're probably going to have a lot more traffic to that one website. But of course, there's that risk that it may not happen. So with this is the financial sort of risk of it all, isn't it? So if you invest into more than one website, then perhaps not focusing enough on them, you risk the fact that you're going to lose that money. For me, okay, $5,000 is a lot of money, but for me it's been sitting in my PayPal account for about a year and a half. I haven't touched it. I made it with my previous projects, and if I lose it, I lose it. It's been sitting there for so long that it's not something. It's not my life savings. No, actually, it is my life savings. But okay, it's worth the risk for me. It's worth the risk. But I think that for some people, if you don't have enough money and this is a gamble, it's probably better to focus on one site and just do it yourself. The last thing is, I've mentioned EAT. So establishing that you are who you say you are, that you do have the know-how, the authoritativeness. You know what you're talking about, and the trustworthiness of it all. So it's basically, with one website, once you follow the 30 steps in Project 24 with the EAT course, you're done. But if you have multiple websites, you're going to have to do this again and again and again. So that's kind of a disadvantage because it takes up more time. But once you've established EAT, perhaps it's worth the time. So anyway, this is what I'm doing at the moment. I am going to be building a lot of sites in the next couple of months. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit about the progress of what I'm doing, just subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be updating you with some stats, with all of the sort of trial and error sort of methods I'm going through, what happens. So if you want to know if it's going to work or not, just subscribe, and each week I'm going to give you an update on what I'm doing. So if you've enjoyed this talk, if you've enjoyed the video, share it with a friend. If you've got any questions, anything you want to know about Project 24 or about what I'm doing with my projects, or just something related to what you're doing, just send me a comment and I will get back to you. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. And if you're interested in becoming a member of Project 24 just as I am, then please use my link. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you in the community. Thanks very much.